hearing, I am.
That's your opinion.
No, hang on a minute.
But we don't have political parties.
Let me finish. You've been talking for like over 5 minutes now.
In fact, the amount of money being wasted under this APC is unthinkable in the history of this country. It's unthinkable.
As a matter of sensitivity, a man who faces cases like that, for the Senate to endorse him, we are marched to bring necessity.
We need to jolt our country back. Ayo, I cry for Nigeria this morning. Let me read something to you. Why I'm crying, why I scream sometimes for this country.
Don't you think is it not contradictory? Or where are these revenues going to?
Because what is good for the goose is good for the gander.
Look at all the frivolous items that Nigeria spend their money on. Is that the profile of a man who is prudent?
This government has borrowed so much.
Why is budget not implemented? Because it is a breach of the law and it's an impeachable offense.
If you don't do it, you can be challenged. And that is going to happen very soon.
Hello everyone, you are welcome back. You have seen from the video how Rufai Osini was crying and people were talking about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. She just dropped a shocking bullshit that is shaking Nigeria right now. This is my first time doing this reaction. You have seen with your own eye how Rufai was crying on national TV. He is not happy with the way President Tinubu has made Nigeria become so useless that there is nothing to write home about in Nigeria. Everywhere hardship, economic insecurity, economic disability. Guys, Rufai Osini was crying on national TV for Nigeria. He saw so many things that exposed Tinubu, and I believe with this evidence that Rufai Osini provided, Tinubu will not be on pilot bus on 2027. Rufai Osini said that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says that he removed fuel subsidy from Nigeria, whereas fuel subsidy is still there. That they are using this fuel subsidy removal, but behind the back, they are still collecting billions upon billions naira for themselves, using it to send their children abroad, using them to live fake lifestyle, using them to drive on convoys. This is how Rufai Osini was saying that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have useless this country to nothing, providing insecurity, funding bandit account. He saw so many things on national television, and I would like you guys to listen to what Rufai Osini said, how he was crying for Nigeria, that average Nigeria can no longer succeed in Nigeria, and how other people were also saying, lamenting, bringing out evidence that can pull out Tinubu from the ballot box in 2027. Anyway, let me allow you guys to listen to Rufai Osini. We'll be right back.
I don't want people to suffer. I play in that space. I do a lot of advocacy for people. But Ayo, we need to jolt our leaders. Ayo, what happened to this country? We are seeing the likes of the Machimogu. We have seen the likes of Malami, forfeiture and everything. We need to jolt our country back. Ayo, I cry for Nigeria this morning. Let me read something to you. Why I'm crying, why I scream sometimes for this country. On the 23rd of December, 1974, Nigeria signed a long-term borrowing agreement with the World Bank. Under this agreement, Nigeria provided $240 million in net resources to the World Bank reserves. And we're borrowing World Bank money.
We were lending.
We're lending World Bank money to do development projects for other countries. In 1975, we also lent 120 million to the IMF. This country was not depending on aid in the 70s. I feel like crying this morning. What has happened to this country? And because people are looting the country dry. The same country that was lending World Bank money to $40 million in the 70s. In that same 70s, do you know that Britain was going to the World Bank to loan money because they had an economic crisis? That time we were lending them money.
All right, Dr. Bati. Meanwhile,
now you have seen from the video how Rufai Osini is saying that APC is not fighting against corruption. Instead, they are absorbing corruption. That he's not even sure that if you're not corrupt, that Tinubu is going to give you ministerial appointment. That Tinubu only give ministerial appointment to those people who are corrupt, those people who are ex-convicts, who they deported them from US, United States of America, back to Nigeria. That is what Tinubu is speaking to give them minister. You can see from the likes of Femi Gabelia, Tambua. You can see from their likes how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is giving ministerial appointment to corrupt people. However, Barrister Danliti have responded to Rufai Oseni. He said on a video how he responded to the first subsidy removal, how the APC people are using this thing to siphon money from Nigerians. I want you people to listen to what Barrister Danliti said. We'll be right back.
Tinubu told us with his own mouth that he's going to build hospitals, schools, roads, and other critical infrastructure with the subsidy money. There was never a time he mentioned
six federal teaching hospitals across the 6 geopolitical zones have received money to upgrade their facilities. Yes. You are not aware.
Hold on. Receive money to upgrade.
Yes, their facilities.
Mr. Okoro, where is light in Nigeria? The first thing, all these things you are talking about, it hinges. That is the pivotal. The pivotal is what? Light, power. Where is it? Please, where is light? All your so-called infrastructure or whatever. A whole Ibadan, UCH, have to be off national grid.
Mr. Akumo, you asked a question. Where is the excess money derived from removal of fuel subsidy? Where is it going to? And I just pointed out a few of them.
I told you now that it's a lie. Because if it is...
Which one is a lie? Hospitals are being upgraded.
It's a lie. Hold on. It's a lie. Because one, if you are using that subsidy money, we cannot borrow up to 200 trillion as I talk to you now.
No, but you also had deficits in your budget. You budgeted it that you were going to borrow this.
Why must that be with the subsidy money? There shouldn't be such a thing.
The subsidy money is not enough to solve all your problems.
Who told you that? Manage the one you have. Manage the one you have. Man, if it is well managed, in fact, we'll be borrowing money to people who need it.
You mean lending money?
Yeah, we lend money to people. Yes, manage the one you have, but you are not managing it. You are just on a spending cruise. Look at all the frivolous items that Nigeria spend their money on. Is that the profile of a man who is prudent? No, tell me the truth. The 210 trillion naira, you tell me now it's not under this government, but it's under the same party. What are they doing about it?
Well, the National Assembly is conducting an inquiry.
It's true talk, yes. Until Jesus come back, that's when they will finish conducting the forensic examination. The man that was in the helm of affair when this happened, have anybody called him for questioning in the first place? What are you now conducting? The man said he was even shocked that somebody is calling him. And you are telling me this and that. Please, in fact, the amount of money being wasted under this APC is unthinkable in the history of this country. It's unthinkable. And I don't see how we can make progress without light. Do you not need money to produce the so-called light? So why are you wasting the money you have? Why are you wasting the money you have? And you are telling me you are looking for money. Which money?
All right then.
The money you borrowed to come and account for it. Let us say whether you are using it prudently.
You have seen what Barrister Danliti is saying. And even the Northerners are now angry with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That his corruption is on the high rate side. That Tinubu has been borrowing money, or borrow. What is he using this borrowing of money to do? That he will borrow 8 million naira, 8 trillion, $3 billion, pounds. He has been borrowing money, but they are not seeing what Tinubu is using this money to do. That Tinubu has not done any sensible thing that Nigeria will use their eye to see that yes, this is the part of the money that he borrowed. The Northerners that had even invented this corruption are angry with the way Bola Ahmed Tinubu is borrowing money, siphoning Nigerian money. Because there is nothing to write about Tinubu. And they They are saying that they are not going to support him in 2027 election. Anyway, I want you guys to listen to what this young man is going to say in the video, how he brought out evidence that will end Tinubu in 2027. Let's listen to him. We'll be right back.
The budget. Where are these revenue going to? If the budget, for example, 2025 budget has not been implemented, and we have to roll over 70% of 2025 to 2026, and that with the promise that 30% will be implemented before March. Up to March, even 30% was not implemented. National Assembly has to extend the lifespan of the budget up to September to allow government to implement just 30% component of 2025 budget. The issue of 2026 have not arisen completely, has not arisen, has not even started up initial. It has not even arisen. So, don't you think is it not contradictory? Or why are these revenues going to the extent that the budget is not being implemented? It is through the implementation of the budget that dividends of democracy is being brought to the doorsteps of the people. If the budget is not being implemented, why is the function of government? For example, security of lives and property of the people is the primacy of governance. All the security agencies that we have been interacting with them, they are reporting to us that they have received zero allocation in terms of their capital. Where are these monies going to? This is my question. Why is budget not implemented? Because it is a breach of the law and it's an impeachable offense. Then about 3.7 trillion naira was received last month, and only 2 trillion naira was disbursed to the 3 tiers of government. About 1.7 trillion was retained. Why? Why is it that 1.7 trillion was retained? Why not disburse all the 3.7 trillion to the 3 tiers of government? This is my question. Thank you.
Now you have seen with your own eyes how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have spoiled this country, how he has been corrupted in so many angles. The first one was fuel subsidy removal. Second one was the implementation of tax on he put high tax on Nigerian people, and the last one was borrowing recklessly. And I want you guys to see the next phase of Tinubu corruption and why the Senate are trying to impeach Tinubu for him not to be on the ballot board 2027, for him not to be president of Nigeria again. The Senate are saying that how on earth will Bola Ahmed Tinubu went and appoint someone to become an ambassador in another man's country, someone who has been accused of sexual immorality, sexual harassment here in his own country, not one, not two, not three people. Many people have accused this young man that this man is not a good enough, it's not good for Nigeria to use as an ambassador. And how the Senate reacted that if Tinubu continue with this ambassador appointment, they are going to impeach him. He's not going to be president of Nigeria again. And I want you guys to see how the Senate reacted. We'll be right back.
The drama started almost as soon as a report of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs on the confirmation of the nomination of Professor Abayomi Fashina as non-career ambassador was presented. The report, presented by Senator Simon Lalong, finds the nominee from Lagos fit and proper for the job, completely absolving him of allegations of sexual misconduct.
That the accusation against Professor Fashina was investigated by competent authorities, including the University Governing Council and Nigerian police, who found the allegation false.
Unimpressed, Senator Adams Shomole quickly raised objection to the clean bill of health given to the nominee, who he said is currently facing 2 alleged sexual harassment scandals. The Edo North Senator cautions the Senate to tread carefully on the matter that is pending before the courts.
As a matter of sensitivity, a man who faces cases like that, for the Senate to endorse him, we are marched to being insensitive to the feelings of women.
Senator Lalong reacted immediately before Oshiomhole could do any further damage to his committee's report.
When there is no judgment, an allegation cannot stop the proceedings of this. And we asked for the court proceedings. No court proceedings was given to any member of the committee.
From this moment on, disagreements escalated drastically. Senator Cyril Fashui said he was aware of the alleged sexual harassment scandal and had even spoken with the woman involved.
The woman approached me and told me everything that happened. But this woman did not get judgment.
The woman in question that you said we should put a call through, this is not we are not the panel investigating. So if you have the woman's phone number, step outside and phone her. And answer the things you said about this professor. Were you dreaming?
But Fashui's objection was easily knocked down after it was discovered that he signed the committee's report.
The person who seems to be uncomfortable with the report is Cyril, who had signed his number 12.
He signed?
He had signed the report.
More interventions followed from others, both in favor and against the nominee's appointment. Deputy Senate President Barau Jibril quickly withdrew his earlier submission, asking the Senate to step down the confirmation.
There's no any senator from Lagos that is objecting this nomination. I therefore, withdraw my submission and all the senators will get him approved.
The high drama reached its climax with a visibly angry President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, who dismissed the allegations as mere hearsay.
You cannot destroy somebody's career, a professor of note, because there was an allegation that had not been proven up till now. And then Senator Cyril Fashui, you signed this report that this man is very articulate and this man is wonderful. Then you now said that you spoke with the woman. So why didn't you tell the woman to come to the committee?
The matter was subsequently put to voice votes, and when it seems the nays were louder, Akpabio hit the gavel in affirmation and in favor of the confirmation of Professor Abayomi Fashion.
Now, you have seen what Senator Godswill Akpabio said. He said something that was even mocking Senator Adam Usumile, and other senators were laughing. Meanwhile, I want you guys to listen to Arise TV News, how they reacted to this. They said that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu wouldn't have appointed Fasida to become the ambassador appointment. He should have waited to see what the senior president are going to say about this and what Nigeria is going to say about this. And someone who has been accused of rape case, not one people, not two people, you are giving him appointment. Whereas just like Oduba and Sabana that was accused of murder case that is being charged to prison. You don't go and carry him from inside prison. He's still inside the prison. You give him appointment to become maybe a minister, or you give him appointment to become an ambassador. How are Nigeria going to react to this? So the Arise TV people reacted this, and this is sending a direct message to Nigerians that they should be careful about 2027. That Tinubu, what they review about Tinubu will shock you. Let's listen to what the Arise TV News are going to say.
For many reasons. For the sake of, first, there was a mistake to have nominated such a personality that has that kind of baggage. Because we're talking about, in diplomatic terms, the plenipotentiary, that is the president himself in another country. And we see we've had enough scandals associated with, with governance and, and so many things going on. And this is the time to send the right signals. And, it doesn't matter whether you say that, if the report says that he has been cleared because there is no court decision yet. The very fact that he's tainted to the extent that there are pending issues in the National Industrial Court that are yet to determine the veracity of those claims, I think it ought not to really be considered. The Senate ought to have waited. And we know that we're in a male-dominated National Assembly. We also know that to a large extent, what they forget is that society, there's a huge social change. The measure of sexual permissiveness in society is no longer as it used to be. Some things that you could overlook overlook can no longer be overlooked. And this is a country that is a signatory to the Convention against, Convention on Elimination of Discrimination against Women. Right. And that's a major international piece of instrument. And that's this country promotes it. Now, you can't have an ambassador who is alleged to have violated the principles of the CEDAW or other international instruments that promote women's rights. So I think it's a very bad signal.
So you agree with Senator Shomole on the floor there when he says, look, this smacks of insensitivity to the plight of women. It doesn't send the right,
it does. But again, I see it from a larger Nigerian interest. We can't always be presenting the worst of our guys out there as our representatives.
Yes,
because we've seen it's very embarrassing for a country when an ambassador is sent to a country and the receiving country refuses to issue letters of acceptance, which are referred to in diplomatic terms as agreement. We've seen it happen. So what those protesters did may not necessarily be in vain, and it's kind of a bit an indictment on the Senate if civil society steps up its protest to the extent that if the man is posted to any particular country, they will also make that representation. And we're talking about the protection of women's rights generally. It's an international movement, and it's unfortunate that we're dealing with international circles and our representative is someone who has been painted, and perception is everything, that's been perceived to be a violator of women's rights.
Well, the Senate President said at the confirmation that the police investigation and also investigation by the University Governing Council cleared him of the allegations. That's what we had the Senate President say. But on the other hand, the civil society and others, including some senators, said that some of the cases against him are pending before the National Industrial Court and some other judicial bodies. Now, if that is the case, honestly, there is no need to rush and confirm a man for a sensitive position like ambassadorial. He goes to a foreign country representing Nigeria, and these countries, they have embassies in Nigeria. They will be seeing this, that look, the man who is coming to our capital, he is being accused of...
Although you could make the same argument about Donald Trump, couldn't you?
Yeah, but people elected him nevertheless, because they are also
your friends.
the same.
Yes, I know you're going to say that.
You know, the decent thing to do in this case is to delay the confirmation and instead ask for accelerated investigation.
That's a very good.
Yeah, hurry up and conclude. Then let's hear the final thing. But this is messy because the allegations are still hanging, and as we hear, they are even in some courts now. Yeah. And then he goes abroad representing the head of state.
Now, you have watched the video. You have seen how Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been so corrupt from phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Phase 1 is that Bola Ahmed Tinubu embezzle money from people by imposing tax. He is embezzling money from fuel subsidy removal by appointing criminals, giving appointment to criminals. The second phase was that he appointed criminals. Now the third phase is that Bola Ahmed Tinubu have penetrated into Nigeria Bar Association, which is the NBA, Nigeria Bar Association. Instead of them to conduct election to choose who will become their president, Tinubu penetrated and appointed someone to become Nigeria Bar Association president. And this does not even go well with the Nigeria Bar Association people. They were lamenting, crying that this is the highest rate of corruption in Nigeria. How can a legal practitioner accept this corruption? Why is Tinubu doing this? Tinubu is doing all this to be on the ballot board to win 2027 election. That is why he's penetrating every angle. He has penetrated the INEC, he has penetrated the judiciary, which is now the Nigeria Bar Association, by appointing judges and also appointing who will become Nigeria Bar Association president. Let's watch this video and see how Nigeria people reacted, how the Rise TV Channel News reacted to this. Let's watch and see.
I would like to interject, please. This is Rufai here. I thought you just said to my colleague that there's no politics.
Yes, Mr. Rufai.
What you have just explained is like Nigerian
politics. No. I'm talking of the Nigerian political parties.
No, let me finish. If I want wait, sir.
It has nothing to do with regular political parties. It has nothing to do with them.
Wait, sir. What you just explained is worse than Nigerian politics. Yes. In fact, with what I'm hearing, I am...
That's your opinion.
No, hang on a minute.
But we don't have political parties.
Let me finish. Sir, you've been talking for like over 5 minutes now. Let me talk, please. Let me give it back. With what I've heard, I am disappointed in the NBA, and it's a big disgrace that a professional body can be doing microzoning, can be saying somebody should step down, can be saying, or you have gone before, or Shulokan, Awalokan. can be saying people have cabal, a professional body, and you just explain that Egbe Amofin met when it's supposed to be the consensus of the lawyers voting, and you say they met and they pick somebody and they say Awalokan or Shulokan, and you are saying this on national TV. It's a shame on the NBA, sir. Let's call it spade a spade. And you people condemn politicians.
Rufai, let me
Is this what you people are doing?
Let me enlighten you. Let me educate you, Rufai.
Go ahead, sir. It's a shame.
Okay, let me educate you.
Go ahead.
Let me educate you, Rufai.
Yes, sir.
Listen now.
Yes,
you
sir.
ask question, you listen for the, you wait for the answer. Wait for the answer. Rufai, let me tell you this. Where ignorance is bliss, to be wise is foolish.
Yes.
Can you hear me, Rufai?
Go ahead.
Where ignorance is bliss, to be wise is foolish.
Go ahead, sir.
Whatever is not prohibited by any law, whatever is not prohibited by any law cannot be unlawful. Cannot be unlawful. It is because of the NBA. NBA constitution recognizes Sony and Micro Sony. So what are you talking about? Yes, it is because of the NBA. If NBA does not want it, then they should delete. It should be constitution should be amended and should be removed.
In the interest
What's
of
about that?
You people have destroyed the NBA. If you put it actually in the constitution that there's zoning and not fairness and not competition,
it is because of the NBA.
You have destroyed the NBA.
The NBA is a joke. Listen now, you see your problem is that you talk without waiting for an answer. You don't need for an answer.
I'm waiting for the answer.
For example, now, if it leaves southwest after 2 years now, it's going to the north. It's going to the north.
That's the problem with Nigeria. That's the problem with Nigeria. And you people abuse politicians.
It's going to the southeast.
And you people abuse politicians.
Okay. It's going to the southeast.
Okay.
No, any group of persons or bodies or an association has the right to regulate the way they operate.
Okay, sir.
Any group of body or an association has the right to regulate the way they operate.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Wrong.
Can I ask you a question?
Now you have watched the video. What happened? On the day of election, when the lawyers and the judges were out to vote to who will become their president, they stopped them from casting their vote. Just like how you and I will go and vote in 2027. We vote for, if you are voting for APC, you are voting for PDP, you are voting for NDC, you cast your vote on who will be your leader. It does not happen that way. A call from Abuja just enter and everything change overnight. They appointed, just declare the winner that this person is the winner. How corruption, you have seen how corruption have eaten into our legal practitioners, people who call themselves learned people. How bribing and corruption have taken place. Must you bring APC and INEC corruption into Nigeria Bar Association? That is the question Nigeria are asking. If the judiciary are corrupt now, the lawyers are corrupt, who is going to save Nigeria? This is a message that we are no longer safe again. Our judiciaries are corrupt. You can no longer have a fair judgment in Nigeria. And that is why Peter Obi on the other hand is saying that this time around will not go to the court, because if you won election and declare the electoral person a winner, you go to the court will turn the black to white, blue to this, and at the end of the day, they declare the person who is not winner, they become a winner. That is what Tinubu is trying to do. He has penetrated everywhere, put bribing and corruption everywhere, just to make sure he win 2027 election. Now let us listen to what Femi Balera had to say. Femi Balera had to say that the judges are so corrupt, whereby President Tinubu is now building housing for the judges. One in Abuja, one in the state capital, and also he's not building house for the governors. One in Abuja, one in the state capital. What happened to civil servants who have served this country for 32 years? They retired them without giving them any benefit of anything. Have you seen how Nigerian systems are very corrupt? There is no longer a safe place for Nigeria again. The question Nigeria is asking now: who is going to revive this country? Who is going to give us a better Nigeria? If Tinubu is penetrating the INEC, penetrating the judiciary, putting corruption, bribing and corruption everywhere, who is going to be our leaders in 2027? Because Tinubu have a markup and lock everywhere for 2027. Anyway, let's listen to this reaction on Arise TV News and see what they are going to tell us, how Nigeria can be saved from the hands of corruption. Let's listen to them.
That we have got a stage in the country where we need to challenge the special privileges given to the rich and top public officers in the country. Yesterday I was watching the telly. I was very sad when I saw that the federal government was handing over the keys of houses to judges. And I asked myself, under what law are we operating from? Because it's discriminatory and illegal. You must treat equals equal in our country. So you can't take out judges. Judges are entitled to accommodation, by the way. They must live comfortably, they must well secured. But other citizens must be equally provided for. If you don't do it, you can be challenged. And that is going to happen very soon. Because what is good for the goose is good for the gander. If you have a professor who also has to render services to the society, and those professors are not paid well, nobody talks of providing houses for them. Now, they were living in rented quarters. These days, there are not enough quarters for them. So we must also look at that. If governors who are in the National Assembly, about 21 of them, are taking salaries from the National Assembly and jumbo allowances, and they are also entitled to a house in the state where they govern for 4 or 8 years, and another house in Abuja, and you have a civil servant who has worked for 35 years, and it's just turned out at the end of the day. So we must insist that equality before the law in our country is restored.
Unfortunate that we are where we are today, given the fact that we're lawyers, we're supposed to be the bastion of the democracy. And to know that even we can organize ourselves properly is so unfortunate. I said the election was shambolic because of the electoral process. And let me give a context to this. We're coming from a position where all the candidates and all the members of the association know that there's trust deficit in the system, given the previous elections that we've had. 3-4 election cycles have either ended up in court or there's been allegation of manipulation of the process. And because of that, before we had this election, we had series of meetings, we had series of conversations, engagement with the electoral, the ECNBA, telling them about how do we have a credible process. And before now, just a couple of days before the election, we had a meeting where I complained, number one. I said, the service provider is a sole proprietor that nobody knows anything about. Someone from Kano, he says Shamsuddin, a sole proprietor, without any proven track record of having done election of this magnitude before. We said that. We complained about even the other company. I said they can't. And we all agreed that the proper thing to do, let's get 2 reputable companies, international companies that have done this before, that's done it very well. And let's get 2 of the big 4 accounting firms in Nigeria to audit the process. The ECNB rejected it. They said no, they were going to go ahead with it. And I tell you what, within 15 minutes of the election, of the process, the system went down. The election that was supposed to commence at 12 midnight. We didn't commence the election until 7:35 in the morning. Now, election commenced at 7:35 in the morning. From the moment it started till the end of the process, which was 24 hours later, people were disenfranchised, people couldn't vote. It was one complaint or another. I had situation rooms across the 145 branches of the Nigerian Bar Association calling me, telling me the problems members were having. Members couldn't vote. Let's make no mistake, it's not a case of a low turnout. It was a case of disenfranchisement. I couldn't vote myself. The other candidate couldn't vote. I understand even the winner couldn't vote, but nothing has been said about it. So that is where we are. To know that a Bar Association have with an electoral eligible voters of 82,172, and all the number that could vote was about 30% of that number, was about 25,000 electorates voted. So it's so sad that people weren't saying, I didn't want to vote. People were saying, I wanted to vote. I wasn't allowed to vote. I couldn't vote. Even I contacted the president of the association and the chairman of the ECNBA several times, asking for links to vote. I was given two links because people kept telling me there were multiple links. Some links were not even authentic link. And I was telling the president, this link is not, there's a link circulating that is not an authentic link. And he said to me, send it to me. I sent it to him. He saw it. And he said back to me, he said, oh, that's not the link. That's not an official link. He sent me 2 separate links. The ECMA chairman sent me 2 links. So we had an election where we had several links. Some people were using certain links. Some people were using another link. OTPs were not dropping. And we did say we shouldn't be in this situation. If only the ECMB had listened to what we said. We had the Attorney General of the Federation and the Chairman of the Body of Benchers intervening in this matter, telling members, how do we arrive at a credible election? How do we do it in such a way that we don't end up where we are? We've ended up there now. We've become a laughingstock to entire Nigeria. Politicians are looking at us. Other politicians are looking at us and say, look at these lawyers. They can't even organize themselves. They can't even conduct a credible election. Tomorrow, they want to talk about other associations or even Nigerian state not being able to conduct a proper election. So how do we have that moral ground to be able to look at INEC in the face and tell INEC you haven't done it properly when they know even we couldn't do it properly? Charity begins at home, they say.
You have seen from the video, this is a clear version of what they say that what God cannot do does not exist. Now is now what Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot do does not exist. You have seen that he has tried by all means to back up everything for 2027. So I want to ask you guys a question. What are your take about this particular video? The Bola Ahmed Tinubu embezzlement of money, the bribing and corruption, the fuel subsidy removal that he said he removed, but up to today, Nigeria are still asking themselves question that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you remove fuel subsidy, but Nigeria are still borrowing recklessly that any other nation can ever imagine, and people are living in hunger, people are living in hardship in Nigeria. Where is all this money that you have been borrowing? Where is it going to? And you have seen from the video that how he was building houses for the judges, building houses for the governors in order for him to mark up 2027 election, building houses for the INEC chairman. How will opposition party win 2027 election? How can they win election when Tinubu has marked out all these things in order for him to win election? If they win, if they go to court, his boy is there. The board judges will favor him. INEC will hijack election for him. So how is opposition going to win this 2027 election? And Peter Obi is saying that they were not going to court this time around. How can he defeat Tinubu in 2027 with all of this? I want to see your honest reaction and your honest thought in the comment section. See you in the next video.